Candace Owens says Trump is pro-vax because he's too old to understand the internet. I never once called Trump too old. I never once said that Trump could not understand the internet. And yet somehow he got that information and believed it to be true. He thought that I said that he was too old and that he couldn't understand the internet and did not quite get the information that actually what I was saying was a defense of him so that his supporters would still believe in him. Not only was he just mad, by the way, he then, during a golf session with some mutual friends of ours, had a person next to him who was egging this on, saying to Trump, and I know this because, again, this is a mutual friend, aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me.
Bro, what is happening? Dude, American politics is so cooked, yo. Especially the Republican Party. Like, can you imagine? Candace Owens is nowhere near a notable person, okay? Just straight up propped up by the Republican Party infrastructure to be like a notable person in the media. And like, you got someone like her whose reach is marginal, okay? Let's be real. In compared to someone like myself, Candace Owens' reach is minuscule, okay? And yet, Donald Trump is having petty high school style drama or beef with someone like fucking Candace Owens. That's insane. Are you jealous? I'm not jealous, but it does definitely frustrate me to see how little the Democratic Party gives a shit about, I guess, its own naturally occurring, organically occurring media structure. The difference is you despise 90% of the party. Yes. Yes. Like, there's no world in which I meet Joe Biden. There's no world in which I would have met Barack Obama when I was like debating Charlie Kirk. But Charlie Kirk was literally fucking besties with Donald Trump Jr. and still is. Had Donald Trump Jr. on shows, you know what I mean? There is no infrastructure within the Democratic Party that is interested in propping up voices that are young. Anyway, let's watch this.
That he was upset with me, that he was angry at me, and the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is something that made me, for the first time, question him as a person. So you have an individual that spent years defending you, right? And that individual gave you a completely kind and fair interview. You said something yourself that your base didn't like, and you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. That is not owning things that you did wrong. That is not owning.
I love that in Candace Owens' eyes, that's the first time Donald Trump was not happy and refused to take accountability. I love that. You think that's the first time this happened? That's what made you realize he doesn't like accountability? That's crazy.
That you misunderstood.
In fairness, you will always have a ceiling amongst the Dems because of your 821 stuff. No, that's not the reason. No, my friend, the ceiling is my relentless criticism of the Democratic Party and also my political worldview, which is antithetical to the opinions of the overwhelming majority of the Democratic Party. There is no such distinction between independent content creators on the right versus the Republican Party as a whole. Their ideological project revolves around upholding capitalism, okay? Same with the liberals.
Understood something about your base. That's not growing. That's not developing. In fact, he should have tried to understand why the base was so upset with him, which would have led to the fact that his base is not pro-COVID vaccine. It's that simple. I understood that. I could have told him that. But at that moment, I realized that he's not listening. Who is this guy next to him?
I love that that's the moment that she realized it, by the way. That was it. That was when she figured it out.
Trying to egg him on to be angry.
It's like at the top of the hour when I tell you time and time again that there's a 6-second ad break and like you just refuse to comprehend it.
At me for trying to defend him, say that he's not a shill, to say, no, actually, I think that he genuinely does support the vaccines. He did genuinely support the vaccines. So all of this going on made me, again, question him if he was becoming too angry, which is to say,
it's pretty funny to consider this because, like, Ron DeSantis supports the vaccines too. Ask Ron DeSantis if he got fucking vaxxed up. You know what I mean? He did. It's just so dumb. She's like mad at Trump for fucking openly supporting the vaccines.
That when Trump went into the election in 2016, he was having fun, right? He was naming people, giving them fun names, enjoying the base, having a good time. I would even say in 2020.
No political analysis from political commentator Candace Owens thus far. Petty grievances, personal realizations, upset that Donald Trump fucking likes the vaccines. And lastly, Donald Trump was having fun when he was running for president. Dude, you're a political commentator. What about like his policies? I thought that was the reason why he was saving America. No, he was saving America because he was having fun, because he was owning the libs, which, by the way, that is at the heart of a lot of the resentment and a lot of the reason why these people fucking vote Republican. Because why else would you vote for fucking deregulation and tax cuts when you are poor, when you're fucking broke, when you don't know where your next meal ticket's coming from? Why in the ever-loving fuck would you vote for the party that shows its open disdain for the working poor every time they push for a policy? Okay? It's because they have told you that your enemy is your fellow citizens. They've told you that your enemy is like trans people. They told you that your enemy is like immigrants. They told you that your enemy is like black people, brown people. They're doing crime and all this shit, okay? And that they're gonna punish your enemies for you. They tell you that like it's all being controlled by the liberal elitist media, and the liberal elitists are hurting you and harming you. And in some circumstances, that is true. Liberal elitists are hurting and harming you as they are capital owners. But that capital ownership extends beyond the ideological boundaries of liberalism. Obviously, there's plenty of fucking Republicans that own the coal mines too. But that's the only reason why you go out and you vote for Republican, especially if you're making like 35 grand a year and you're living in a fucking trailer park. You're doing that because you're angry, you're resentful. Television Man told you the reason why you're resentful is because there are trans children at schools or some shit, okay? That's why you should be angry and you should be resentful. And the Republican Party loves funneling your dumbasses into the fucking voting machine. Brrr, goes the fucking voting machine. And Donald Trump was great because he was having fun with it. He was making fun slogans. He was just having fun.
You could feel the energy. It was electric. I think after the 2020 election, and because of the shock of all the things that happened and the answers that we never really feel that we got, this like sinking realization that we might be actually losing our country, I think that it pushed him into an angry space where he doesn't trust anybody, where he doesn't listen to anybody, where he's almost likely to believe that everybody's trying to turn their back on him and stab him in the back. And again, I don't believe that that's leadership, but I never spoke on that because I thought to myself, I think that that's a lot of ego that Trump is having right now. But maybe I'm being egotistical. Maybe me even speaking out about this is me being offended and butthurt that he was so rude to me. He was so rude to me on the basis of what he said. But after time, I've realized that no, these discussions that everybody is having, these conservative influencers are having behind Trump's back, should be also had with the public as well. You have a right to know that. You have a right to take that information and judge it as you will. And to question whether...
Dude, they're fucking running, dude. The rats are escaping the ship, okay? The ship is sinking and the rats are fucking running away. These people are actors. They don't actually have legitimate perspectives. They will go where the money goes. 100%.
There has been a change in Trump. How could there not be? How could you suffer a defeat and know in your heart that a lot of things that happened regarding that defeat were wrong, even if you don't believe that what happened in Maricopa County during the election was fishy? I do personally believe that. You at least believe that the Hunter Biden laptop suppression led to different results in the election. Of course it did. Many people said that if they had known that that laptop was real, they would have voted differently. So he has every right to be angry. But if you stay at a place of anger, right, you are ignoring everything that is going on around you. You're no longer looking and assessing things in the way that you should be assessing them because you're holding on to this almost vengeful spirit, right? That is the question that I've had with Trump. Is he going to get over the trauma of the election of 2020 and begin to paint a vision for 2024? What is his vision for 2024? Is it I'm back? Because that's not a vision to me. It needs to be more than I'm back, right? And I think that what's happening behind closed doors, people believing that they're not sure who he's listening to. Maybe there's a paranoia potentially that's setting in, that he believes that his friends, now me, oh my God, how could you say I was too old? I read the headline on the Daily Beast. That's what she said. I didn't say that, right? If you thought I said that, you should have been a decent human being. You should have picked up the phone and you should have called me, right? Because that's what I would have done. I would have reached out.
Bro, she's talking about the president. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Why didn't you call me President Donald Trump to just like ask? What part of this is political commentary, by the way? That's wild. What the fuck is going on? I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit here. What is happening? Why? What is happening and why?
Out to you to clarify things. That's what it means to be a person. That's what it means to be a friend. That's what it means to be a colleague, not even a friend. What it means to be a colleague is to actually have relationships with people, to honor the relationships that you have with people that don't take place in the public sphere. We didn't do any of those things.
Sphere.
And I think that the MAGA movement is reflecting Trump. I think there is a trepidation that I'm sensing in Trump. And I think that that trepidation is evidenced by him taking a random swing at DeSantis last week. I don't think it was helpful.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but like, he don't know you, little bro. Like, it's not like that, I don't think. I mean, what the fuck? You are not him, okay?
Helpful, even though DeSantis won Florida handily. He's not running against DeSantis right now, right? DeSantis is running for governor. I know Trump voted for him and all of that's great. Why take a random swing, right? I think the base is feeling that trepidation. They're not sure who to listen to on endorsements. Do you listen to DeSantis? Do you listen to Trump? Or do we listen to these influencers? Are these influencers listening to DeSantis? Are these influencers listening to Trump? They're wondering about what the leadership looks like. And I think that I am not at all under any impression that Trump can't win in 2024. No. What I am saying is that Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to take a good look in the room, and he needs to read the room accurately. He needs to take a look at those that are around him that are inspiring this paranoia and making him believe that everyone's out to get him, including his friends. And he needs to exercise a tiny bit more humility.
Bro, this is crazy. It's just a drama reply YouTube video from 2012. Yeah. No, she literally reduced like all of the promises that she foresees Trump having to not calling her. Trump's going to have some issues because he won't call me, is what she said. Unironically, that is her commentary. That is her assessment. I love that.